This is the solution for Lab 1, where you will convert sensory inputs into sentences. I have already installed the TI SensorLink mobile application, and for this demo I am using an Android device. The first step is to start the mobile application. To connect the sensor, hold the on button for 3 seconds until the light starts to flash green. You should then see your sensor appear on the application. If you are using an Apple device, select the Cloud Configuration option, and for Android, select the sensor tag and then Advanced from the Cloud view. Select the Watson IoT Quick Start option from the Cloud Service drop-down menu, and note the device ID for Android or the MAC address for Apple, and then press Save. On an Apple device, go back to the device list and select Sensor View. For both device types, select the Push to Cloud option. On an Apple device, the button will turn green, and on an Android, a red arrow will flash. Copy the URL provided on an Apple device, or on an Android, select Open in Browser and then copy the URL. If you scroll down on the web page, you can test that the mobile device is receiving the data from the sensor by moving the sensor around. That's all from the mobile device at this point, so go to your laptop or desktop and log into Bluemix. You should already have a running application if you completed the Basics to Bots course. Select your application and go to Connections in the navigation panel on the left-hand side, and then select Create New Connection. In the navigation panel, select from Internet of Things and then choose the Internet of Things platform. Ensure that the service is connected to your existing application and then select Create. You will then be asked if you want to restage your application. Select Restage and wait a few moments until the application is running again. The next step is to launch the Internet of Things platform service that you just added, so click on the service and then press Launch. You are then presented with the IoT platform. Make a note of your organisation in the top right-hand corner and the organisation URL. Then open the navigation panel on the left-hand side and select Devices. Select Device Types from the menu and then press Create Type. Select the Create Device option and give it a name and a description. For this demo, I have called it TI Sensor Tag and a description of TI Sensor Tag Devices. Once complete, skip through the next steps and click Create. Now repeat the process again for a playbulb device type, which will be used in a later lab. Name it something like playbulb candle and a description of playbulb candle device. Click Next and skip through the next steps to create the device type. The next step is to register the device gateway for the Raspberry Pi, which will also be used in a later lab. Select Create Type again, but this time choose Create Gateway Type. This time I have called it Pi Gates and given the description of Raspberry Pi gateways. Select Next and again skip through the next steps to create the gateway. You will now have created all of the device types and gateways required for this course. Now you need to register the sensor tag. On the Devices page, select Browse and then Add Device. Choose the TI sensor tag device that you just created and click Next. You are required to enter a device ID. This has to be unique, an example being the device ID or MAC address of your device from the mobile application. Click Next until you reach the security page. Here you need to provide a token. This is used as a password in the mobile application. Create a unique token and do not share it with anyone else. Make sure that you remember what you enter, as this cannot be retrieved after you pass this step. Select Next and then Add. After you receive the confirmation, review it and then click on the cross in the top right-hand corner. In this demo, I have bound the IoT platform service into my application, so my application is able to connect to the platform without any further security configuration. If you plan to run your Node-RED application outside of Bluemix or without the IoT service bound in, then you will need application security credentials. Now we are going to generate an API key. So on the left-hand side, open the menu and go to Apps. And then in the right-hand corner, select Generate API Key. Select an expiry date of your choosing to somewhere in the future. And then add a comment if you wish. Make a note of the API key before you generate. The next step is to change the cloud configuration on the sensor tag. So go back to your mobile device and open the sensor tag application. On Android, select the sensor and open the advanced option, or select cloud configuration on an Apple device. Change the cloud service to Watson IoT registered on Android or Watson Ioc Platform on an Apple device. On Android, you are required to enter a username, password, device ID, and broker address. On an Apple device, these differ slightly. You need to enter the device type, device ID, organization ID, and the authentication token to correspond with the information you just entered on the Bluemix platform. On an Android device, for the username, enter use token auth. The password is a secret token you previously created. The device ID is slightly more complex. You need to type D:, then the organization ID that you got from the top right-hand corner of the Ioc Platform page, another colon, the device name that you provided when creating the device type, so for example, TI sensor tag, another colon, and finally the device ID, which is the unique ID you entered when you registered your sensor to the platform. In the broker address field, replace Quick Start with the organization ID, again what you got from the top right-hand corner of the Ioc Platform page. You can leave the broker port and the published topic, and then press Save. On an Apple device, the device type is the device name that you provided when you created the device type. The device ID is a unique ID that you created. The organization ID, again, is on the top right-hand corner of the Ioc Platform page, and the authentication token is a secret token you created previously. Let's look now at how the credentials look on an Android device. Once complete, select Save. You will receive an error message if the credentials are incorrect. Next, you need to change the frequency in which the sensor sends information to the platform. This needs to be frequent enough so that both the start and end rotational movements are detected. On an Android device, scroll down until you reach the motion data. Press anywhere over the data and using the scroll bar, change the period to 200 milliseconds and then press Save. On an Apple device, you need to be in the cloud configuration options and then edit the speed using the publish rate field. Then push your application to the cloud. Next, open your Bluemix dashboard on a laptop or desktop to construct a Node-RED flow that will allow you to listen to your sensor and interpret the movements. Launch your application's Node-RED flow editor by clicking the URL and enter your credentials if you set them up. On the editor, create a new tab. If you want, you can choose to rename it, for example, IoT. In the node palette on the left, search for IBM IoT and drag the node onto the editor, and then drag on a debug node. Double-click on the IoT node and configure it as a Bluemix service. Enter the unique device ID that you gave for your sensor, and when you are finished, select Done. Join the two nodes together and deploy. You will notice in the Debug tab that new messages are sent every second. This shows that the data is being sent from the sensor. If you drill down into one of the debug messages, you will see all of the data that is being sent. To be able to interpret this, you need to install a new node. So go to Options in the top right-hand corner and select Manage Palette. Navigate to Install and search for Sensor-Rotation and click Install. If you are unable to find the node, then you will need to modify the package.json application file. Skip this step if the sensor node installs successfully. Switch back to your Bluemix console and select your application. Stop your application and scroll down to the continuous delivery section at the bottom of the page. There, press Edit Code. Select the package.json file and add a dependency entry for node-read contrib sensor rotation to phrase and the version, which is 0.x. Make sure that you add a comma at the end of the line if it is not the last entry. Then save your changes by going to File and Save, then redeploy your application. This will take a few minutes. Open your Node-RED Flow editor once the application is running again. Back in the palette, search for the sensor rotation node that you've just installed and drag it onto the editor. Create a space between the IoT and debug node. Delete the join and add the sensor rotation node in between them. Join the three nodes together. Double-click on the sensor rotation node and set the listen or send toggle node to pitch 0, roll 180. This is the movement that the node is listening out for to signal the start and end of a phrase. Then set some texturing values for the remaining pitch and roll motions. When you are finished, select Done, and search for a text-to-speech node and a function node, and drag them both onto the editor. Double-click on the function node and type in message.payload equals message.speech with a semicolon at the end. You can name the node if you want. I have called mine speech to payload. Finally, drag a play audio node onto the editor. You should have already installed this node if you did the Node-RED Basics to Box course. If you don't have it, repeat the steps for installing the sensor rotation node. Neaten up the nodes and join them together. If you don't want the text-to-speech language to be in Spanish, double-click on the node and choose your preferred language, then deploy your application. Empty the Debug tab and ensure that your mobile application is pushing to the cloud. The sensor rotation node should then say listening underneath. Take movements with your sensor and try to make a phrase. Remember to start and end the phrase with the listen send toggle motion, so in this case a positive 180-degree roll. Once the send toggle has been activated, you will see your message displayed in the Debug tab. This completes Lab 1.